What is going on, everybody? AHS Rules back again with another video as we're here once again for another Ring of Honor TV review, episode number 90 to be exact. Extremely crazy. We've been here for 90 straight weeks to talk about Ring of Honor wrestling, and I believe if I have counted correctly and nothing goes wrong, episode number 100 would be on January 23rd, 2025, but we got a long road till we get here. This episode of Ring of Honor was quicker than normal, which is an okay thing. And what is an okay thing? And I guess I could say a good thing is last week I complimented Ring of Honor's tag team division because they have a lot of tag teams competing every week. Consistently competing, I guess is a better way to put it. And I guess Ring of Honor heard me, and they're like, you like tag team wrestling? We're going to make this episode a whole bunch of tag team matches, which I'm not necessarily complaining about. And we do have a championship match in the main event. So, our opening contest this week, some tag team action. A four-way tag team match involving the Gates of Agony, the Dark Order's Alex Reynolds and John Silver, the Undisputed Kingdom, and making their Ring of Honor debut, the current New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions, the Grizzled Young Veterans. I do not necessarily know what their contractual status is, but I hope they appear on Ring of Honor more regularly. The first two legal competitors are Khan and Taven, but the action does not pick up until the Grizzled Young Vets tag in and double team on the Dark Order, including a backbreaker knee drop combo on Reynolds. The Gates of Agony land a double choke slam on Bennett. Silver goes crazy and takes everyone out on the outside, except for the Undisputed Kingdom, who await him in the ring to hit the Hail Mary spiked pile driver to win the matchup. Another tag team match follows this involving the Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes versus Shot Through the Heart. Before we get into the action, Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes now have a tag team name, the Sons of Texas. I'm probably just going to refer to them as Sammy Guevara and Dustin Rhodes. Shot Through the Heart consists of TJ Crawford and Love Doug. As Doug and Dustin start the match off, Sammy lands a dive to the outside on his opponent. He also hits a cutter, this followed by a Shining Wizard by Dustin. Then they win the matchup, hitting the final cut and GTH at the same time. And they get very little time to celebrate as the Righteous attack both of them after the match. And Dutch has a cowbell that he hits Dustin Rhodes in the head with. And we will get a little more backstory and reasoning for this once the Righteous compete later on the episode. We can insinuate things. Speaking of insinuating, that was a terrible segue. And there's not even really any insinuating. We have our Ring of Honor World Title match set up for Dynamite 2 weeks from now. The post-Full Gear Dynamite, the Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite, as it will be Chris Jericho versus Tomohiro Ishii, which what is hilarious about this is the same location and week that they had their first initial matchup, and that was kind of the whole backstory and reasoning why this matchup is happening again on the Thanksgiving Eve Dynamite. What the hell the Ring of Honor World Championship does in the course of the next week, where there's another episode of Dynamite, there's an episode of Ring of Honor where there's not the champion has appeared once for 2 minutes. And there's a whole AEW pay-per-view, so there's time to spare, but at least a world title match has been set up. So we have another tag team match. This one being Griff Garrison and Preston Vance versus Waves and Curl. Waves and Curl consist of Jalen Brandon and Tavon Jordan. There's no code of honor in this match, and there's no real chemistry between Vance and Garrison, which is kind of the premise of most of this match, is that they mainly are just competing as singles wrestlers, and they don't know how to compete as a tag team, which what is hilarious about this is that Griff Garrison's, I wouldn't really know how to describe his whole shtick, but it kinda is, he gets put into tag teams Hey, he was in the Varsity Blondes. He was in one with Cole Carter. Now he's with one with Preston Vance, which this might be a 1-week deal, but you would imagine he knows how to be a tag team wrestler by now. But they struggled to do this until Vance throws Jordan into the ring steps, stopping Branding from also getting involved, and Vance and Garrison win off a discus forearm and lariat combo. As now we got several singles matches back to back to back. The first one being Katsuyori Shibata versus Aaron Solo. And Solo attacks before Shibata could even get in the ring. So back-to-back matches with no code of honor. This leads to the two brawling on the outside. But once they get back in the ring, Shibata gets the advantage by keeping his opponent in the corner and even hitting the corner drop kick. And ends the match with a Cobra twist, which I had a complete brain fart / hearing problem because I thought that Ian Riccaboni said an octopus stretch, and that's what I wrote down. And then after he's like, he went to the match with the Cobra twist, so Shibata won the match with a submission maneuver. We're just going to call it a Cobra twist. The next matchup is Josh Woods versus Commander. Woods tries to grapple with Commander in the beginning, but he struggles to keep up with Commander's speed, and that includes a dive to the outside. But once on the outside, Mark Sterling gets involved and attacks Commander while the referee's back is turned. Commander springboard attempt is stopped by Woods once he hits a flying knee that gets a 2 count. And then Alex Abrahantes has enough of Mark Sterling, and it's a spear on Sterling inside the ring. And this distracts Woods enough for Commander to hit his rope walk shooting star press, picking up the victory. As now we have Abaddon versus Viva Van. A third match tonight with no code of honor. And spoiler alert, there's another match. There's actually 2 more matches that don't have a code of honor, which, the disrespect. But there's no code of honor as Vance lands a slap. This gives her the early advantage to start the match, but Abaddon riles back, landing a cutter and a black dahlian to win the matchup. Speaking of a former foe of Abaddon, we have an emergency Minion Empowerment Meeting. I finally got it right, because for the longest time I thought it was Minion Emergency Meeting, because almost all of them are emergency meetings. But regardless, this time it is set up by Alexi Nair to see if Billy Starks is ready to apologize to Athena. And right when we're about to see this potentially happen, Athena appears and is, not willing to accept the apology because Billy Starks is dressed like something that a grandmother would make at the retirement home. And before Billy Starks can even speak, they're all interrupted by Layla Gray, who has heard Athena's challenges, and Athena wanting the best competition, and she said there's nothing better than Top Flight, which she is technically a member of. And I thought this, and Athena and Alexi Nair did it. They laughed at this statement. Didn't even know Layla Gray's name, but this does set up a proving ground match between Athena and Layla Gray for next week's episode of Ring of Honor. And it also sets up our throwback match of the week, which I like the idea of the throwback match of the week. I only really have a problem if they're extremely long episodes. I'm like, God darn, we got to go through this, and it's something that's not as noteworthy. But with that being the case, we are not going to cover this week's throwback match of the week because it has been a match that I have already reviewed before on the channel. It is Athena's first Proving Ground match on ROH TV. Athena versus Hyen from the March 16th, 2023 episode of Ring of Honor. If you want to really hear about this 4-minute and 44-second match, I covered it on the Episode 3 ROH review, because I had to look up what exact episode it was, because I list my episodes by number episode, not by date. And it is Episode 3, Clark Connors versus Wheeler Yuta. It also makes me reminisce about being at Universal Studios in Orlando, Florida. I can't really say better days, but I sometimes think that. As now we have one more tag team match to go through, that being The Righteous versus Sammy Diaz and Matt Raymond. The Righteous attack, no code of honor. Spoiler alert, there's no code of honor in our main event as well, but it's a street fight, so it has a kind of reasoning for that. Vincent and Raymond start the match. The Righteous land a side effect and leg drop combo. They also land an Orange Sunshine and win the matchup off of a double Death Valley driver. After the match, the Righteous speak, mainly continuously saying that they should have already been Ring of Honor Tag Team Champions, and they're not waiting any longer and want a shot and want to be the Tag Team Champions. And then Dutch starts to speak, talking about the cowbell that he attacked Dustin Rhodes with earlier, and he says that Dustin knows where this came from. Insinuates that it came from Dusty Rhodes, and Ian Riccaboni and Dutch himself go over the history of Dutch and Dusty Rhodes, as Dusty used to train Dutch. So I imagine a a tag team cowbell match, bull rope match, I know I just had a complete brain fart. I imagine some type of bull rope tag team match might be possible for the Righteous, Sammy, and Dustin. We'll see. I'll more than likely have to cover it on the channel. As our main event this week is a women's TV title street fight, Red Velvet versus Diamanté. And I will say that they had a match previously a couple weeks ago. It would not take a lot for this match tonight to be a step above that last match, because I absolutely hated it and thought it was pointless, especially with the ending. And it was Diamanté dominating the whole match, and then I just attacked Red Velvet with the title because she's so flustered and frustrated. And it kind of sets up this matchup tonight, the rematch, in a street fight. And like I said, it's significantly better than that previous matchup. But what exactly happened? Here we go. No code of honor, like I said, but Diamanté swings with a kendo stick and misses it on the outside. But once back in the ring, she does land some kendo stick shots. She does miss a drop kick with the title in front of Velvet's face, but does not miss a drop kick with a trash can in front of Red Velvet's face. Diamanté gets hit with a bulldog onto a chair, and then Velvet lands a hip toss onto a ladder. She follows this up with a leg drop attempt, but Diamanté moves out of the way, and Diamanté wants some of this as she lands a splash on the ladder for a 2 count. A table is brought into play as Diamanté lands a second rope suplex that gets a close 2 count. Then Diamanté grabs the title belt, swinging and missing, and sets up Red Velvet to hit the mix onto the title, with Red Velvet retaining. And closing out this 90th episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling. A very quick episode, a very tag team heavy episode. The main event went by very fast. No, I botched that. I know I would. The opening match went by very fast. The main event was very good. Probably the most noteworthy thing from the episode. I will say this. I say this almost every week on my ROH reviews. I have, besides a women's title Proven Grow match, have no real clue what the hell to expect for next week's episode. And I completely forgot about, because it is a rumor. And so it's good to close the episode with a rumor. But Ian Riccaboni said be listening, because in the next couple of days and weeks they should have some Final Battle related news. And there's a rumor going around that there's a date set and a location set, which I would hope, because Final Battle always happens in December. We are on the 15th day of November. Just go ahead and announce it. It's kind of bad business if you don't have it already set and stone and whatnot. But I don't run the damn company. But hopefully we get some Final Battle news, and I'll cover it on next week's review. Hopefully we get some Final Battle straight up announcements. But I'm just overextending this episode longer than I don't need to. I do appreciate you for watching this, though. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one, because I'm out.